Well, good morning, Anthony. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate you joining me this morning, like in this conversation. And you know, I was very interested initially to start the conversation, learning a little bit more about you and a little bit more about Visiting Angels. How did you get started in your business? How did that come about? Tell us a little bit more about your business and the people that you touch.
Well, the journey for Visiting Angels, I think like all of us. So for a number of years, I had worked as a marketing director for Borders Books and Music. I was actually the South Florida, mostly Miami. There were about 6 or 7 stores, no, about 4 or 5 stores down in the South Miami area.
Sure.
And they used to do the marketing and public relations for the Borders books. But around 2004, Borders basically filed for Chapter 11.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first time in my adult life, I was laid off from work.
Yeah.
My wife happened to work for the same company as a general manager of the Coconut Grove store.
Yeah.
But we saw the writing on the wall, and we knew that, in fact, that she may lose her job within a year. I had read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and it talked about, the different levels of a person's career. But one of them would, in terms of the lowest one being the employee and the highest one being an investor. So because I used to run a book club in the bookstore beyond what I did. So after reading that book and after being laid off, I realized that being a business owner would be something where we wanted to go. We had some investment money, and I had talked to my wife, and things were starting to look like she was going to eventually lose her job. And we had looked at different things, including franchises. My wife's history is that she actually, her mother and sister worked in the care field. Her sister's a nurse, and the mom was a nurse assistant for many, many years with children in an ICU. My wife also, with her mother, worked as a companion with seniors in the California area. So when we saw things were, going to go a little bit south with the corporation that we worked with, I suggested that we look at, owning a franchise. So we had looked at different things, and based on her home care experience in college and in high school, we looked at several, and we chose Visiting Angels. So Visiting Angels, to us, was one of the best franchises when it came to caring for folks. We took whatever investment money, like most small business people do, and you take the leap of faith. And, we went through about 2 weeks of training through the Visiting Angels program, and we opened up our Miami office down in the Pinecrest area.
Excellent.
And we started small, and obviously 15 years later, we're at it. But, at the end of the day, we give families tremendous support. Obviously, someone like yourself, Gustavo, if you're a business people, and we work with a lot of business folks, professionals like doctors and attorneys, and when their parents age, it's difficult for them to step in to do it. It's very, very difficult. So we provide them the respite, we provide them the time and the confidence to go on and look after their business and make a living and be with their families and trust us to take care of their family members. And
that is terrific. Obviously the whole story is very remarkable, and I commend you for having taken that leap of faith. I join you on that. Sometimes careers happen, and when we need to make, even at a later time in life, we need to make some substantial careers. But it looks like, and I'm very thankful that your decision has worked well. And also, it's very encouraging to see people that are in your industry, because it's not just a business; it's a business of personal care, and I'm sure it requires a lot of caring and emotional thing. You're more than just handling somebody's needs. You're
Right.
there to support somebody emotionally and the family, and
100%.
and you you become a part of it, and that's a great great fulfilling, I imagine, position to be in. Obviously you're in a business that helps people, and also I know you for being a philanthropist yourself and to volunteer time. We share the belief that if you do for others, others will do for you, and that is really what we're here in life to do, pretty much. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
so tell us a little bit about. I understand. Well, you currently hold you're the president of the CHI Foundation, Community Health of South Florida. That I share the honor of being on the board with you. But besides that, I wanted to hear your story of how you came about and why that CHI Foundation has become an important mission for you.
So on the other end of the spectrum, obviously, we take care of seniors, but and that's a big part of the community health as they care for. Some of our nurse assistants have worked or are working for CHI in some ways, but um, I was invited by Abe Levy, who was a former president of the, and that's how I met you, and
I
and,
know,
and he
Abe.
gathered a board of folks that he knew, and he asked me if I would be interested in being on that board. And of course I did, because it blends very well with our mission, as you mentioned, of caring for people. And the foundation does many things. I mean, they just gave away, I think, $1,000 scholarships to nurses, which again ties in very well to what we want to accomplish and get those professionals out there in our community. Now more than ever, certainly we need that. We need more nurses than we ever have before. But and then eventually Abe stepped down, and last year I was given the honor of being the president of the foundation. But the mission is incredible, and in the sense that right now they broke ground and have already built the foundation for the Children's Crisis Center that's going to be in South Dayton on 216, right where community CHI is the main headquarters down on 216. I just read a statistic before we got on, and it just astounds me. 1,000 children with mental health, like Baker Act, to go through CHI, and there is no facility specifically for children.
Right.
And so this is going to be up to 20 kids will be housed in this facility once completed, for them to have the mental health support they need in our community. And think about this, Gustavo, we know, right? COVID has really done a lot of things to a lot of us. But the young children, and we're talking, I think, kids up to 17 years old,
Right.
they're having more challenges as well, maybe more so with, virtual schools and parents being home and unemployed and difficult scenarios to go through.
Sure.
And so they're going to build a place that's going to be specifically set up for them to support them through the process. And not only once they leave that building, they'll be able to have the mental health support. So to me, this again blends nicely with caring for families, caring for every end of the spectrum, from grandpa to the grandkid, and all the way through, and helping them move forward. It's funny, a little dovetail on that. We find that more grandkids are taking care of their grandparents. I get more calls from their grandchildren who say, listen, my mom asked me to call to take care of my grandpa. So think about the responsibilities these young people now are taking, not only themselves, but they're taking on their grandparents as well. So, the least we can do is kind of help support them as they go through this process in our community, and give them that support. So the foundation is amazing. What we do, I appreciate your participation on the board. It's made up of a lot of different folks and business owners as well. But it's going to take $5 million to build this building, $1 million to support the staff and the other operational part. Luckily, we've got some money from the county, and I think we're making inroads. but the foundation raises money in every way they can, including Bricks of Hopes. You can get a
Yeah, I was
brick.
going to ask you about Bricks of Hope, which is the current campaign that
Right,
will
and I
help
know
us.
that you're supporting that through your website. So the Bricks of Hope, I mean, you get bricks with your company name or your family name in the front of this building or around this building that shows that you want to help the future leaders potentially of this community that may need the support now. So this is what we're doing.
That's
And
excellent.
and I'm honored to be it, and certainly I know that you have been for many years a tremendous supporter of this. So it's important. I think you and I both have the same idea about what we want to make, this legacy we want to leave for the families here. Again, we all needed help starting somewhere. My beginning story is someone not working and now having a business, and I want everyone else to get that same opportunity to move forward.
Well, that's actually touching so many points that are, I concur with you, and that important from the everything that has happened in 2020, and so many things have happened in 2020, but the impact, the besides the health impact, there's been a social impact and a mental health impact that has affected many people. Obviously, you see it in your business with,
Mhm.
like you said, children taking care of grandparents, and people being at home without the necessary income to sustain themselves. So there's just so many things. So I totally commend you for your
Thank you.
involvement, and we share the same involvement. We try to bring awareness constantly. Like you mentioned, the campaign for Bricks of Hopes, and Bricks of Hopes is a perfect opportunity for somebody to do just a little something, and also they will have a permanent legacy and a permanent mark on their contribution to the community. So that is terrible. So um, uh, thank you so much. I'm gonna cut off just for a little bit. Let's take a 2 minute break, but I want to get back to you with a couple more questions. I want to know, we spoke about so many interesting topics, um, but we also have, I'm curious about to hear about your experience in dealing with RDS. So I'm gonna bring it up in the next segment. Okay,
Okay,
stay put.
perfect.
Thank you.